What do you think? Yes, it is cold. When I parked, it said 9. So it's 9 degrees. But the cool thing is there's nobody out here. Nobody out here. And you can see where I'm going, where I'm about to walk. There's no footprints. And this snow is a few days old. But this is a trail, it's a long trail. I don't plan on doing the whole thing at this point anyway. Just because there's, I would say right here, a good 6, maybe 8 inches of snow. And it can be tough to hike in that much snow. But I just put on my Yaktrax, and the difference in hiking with them versus without them is huge. I walked around the block with them. I guess the last couple days just at home because we got some snow, and they made a little difference, especially when we walked in the street, just because it was a little more icy. But walking in this snow, it makes a huge difference. Like, it's not as slippery when you first put your foot down. Normally in deeper snow you tend to slide around a little bit, but this is cool. And I tried to show you the moon this morning. It was just, I was in a bad spot in the car. Couldn't do it justice, but man, it was gorgeous. It is cold, but you know, once you start hiking, I mean, I have a lot of layers on too, so once you start hiking, it's really not so bad. It's not so bad. I don't know if you can hear the hum in the background. Yeah, that's the highway. That's not nature. But on this trail that I'm on right now is a big loop. So I'm on the side of the loop that's closest to the highway. So, and I've done this trail many times, the whole thing. But once you hike, I don't know if it's even another mile, you kind of take a turn, and then almost immediately you lose the humming of the highway. So that's a good thing, but I'm hiking up a hill. Doesn't seem like that big of a hill, but in the snow, it does make a difference. So anyway, I have a crazy story I'm going to share, but I'm going to hike some more. So, talk to you in a bit. Okay, so now I'm realizing that I had just finished my last video talking about Yaktrax, and that many people may not know what Yaktrax are. But Yaktrax, if I can get, I don't know if you can see the metal on my shoe, maybe? Anyway, they're just these little things you wrap around any shoe or boot, and they help you hike in ice or snow. So you should get some if you hike ever in the snow or ice. They're so much helpful, like they are so great. Okay, so I was gonna tell a story. So today's Sunday. So this past Monday, I was sitting on the couch with my wife, and my back started to hurt, my lower left back, and this isn't always something new. This particular pain was new, but it's not that unusual for me to have a new pain, if that makes sense. So like, I'll have a tingling in my foot or my arm or my hand or a weird headache or something like that. So that's not that weird. But this this pain was odd. So anyway, I went back to our bedroom, laid down on the floor, just to kind of have something flat to lay on. And after a few minutes, I called my wife to come back and told her this isn't okay. She said, "You want to go to the hospital?" Yeah, okay, so call an ambulance because I couldn't get up at all. And my wife is strong and all, but I'm a giant man. It's hard for a little person to pick up a giant man to put in a car. And I was in so much pain that even if she could do it, I don't know if it would have worked well. So call an ambulance. The ambulance comes, put me on a bed, whatever, take me to the hospital. At this point, I'm ready for someone to just give me medicine that just, I'll see you in a week. I don't care. I just need something that knocks me out completely. I don't care what it is. I don't care how you give it to me. I just need something, because this was like terrible, terrible pain. It escalated so fast. So terrible, so fast. Nothing like I've ever experienced. But we get to the hospital, it's like 8:30, something like that. And I'm in so much pain that I'm throwing up, which never have I had so much pain that I threw up. So I have so much pain I'm throwing up. Oh, I should mention, I'm just in the waiting room. Even though I arrive by ambulance screaming and moaning and groaning and miserable, they're like, "Oh, you have a history of back pain, so you're going to need to wait." I'm like, this isn't the same. This isn't the same. They didn't seem to care. So I sat in the waiting room for, I was in a wheelchair for a little while, then I laid on the floor in the waiting room, throwing up and moaning and screaming. I was that guy. I was making a scene, and just because there was no way to not make a scene, to be honest. In the waiting room for 4 hours, I go back. Took me another hour before I got any medicine, and it was tough. Most pain I've ever been in my life. So painful, so miserable, and like it's such a hard pain to describe too. But like at the base of your back, just to the left, is where it hurts so bad for me. So I'm at the hospital. I finally got some medicine through IV. Thank goodness. If I had to take a pill, it would have taken way too long. So get some IV pain, something. Pretty high dose narcotic, if I'm not mistaken. And then they do some tests. I do one of those CAT scans, peed in a cup, those kinds of things. Kidney stone. So that, I'll tell you what, I have a new appreciation for anyone who has ever had a kidney stone. Anyone, ever. I don't care how big or small that measurement, doesn't matter. It does matter if you're a doctor. It doesn't matter if you're the one experiencing the pain. Because, holy moly. So anyway, I talked with a few people here and there, and a couple guys I knew, "Oh yeah, that's worse than having kids." Well, I have a hard time with that, with other men telling me that it's a pain that's worse than childbirth, right? Men will never know that pain. So then, I have had multiple women tell me, "Oh, that is so much worse than childbirth. I'll have a kid any day again." So that gives it a little more value. When a woman that's had kids says it's more painful than having a kid, then that you can believe that statement. But when some man says that, I'm skeptical. But I was told that by many women, mainly because I think it's a pain that's non-stop. At least this was kind of what I was told by other women. So if you're a woman watching this and this isn't accurate, then correct me, please. But the consensus was the kidney stone is a sharp, terrible, heavy pain that never stops. So for hours and hours and hours, it never stops.
unlike childbirth, yes, it's pain for hours and hours many times, but that pain comes with those contractions, so you get like a quick break. I guess you would call it a break, but you go through that extreme pain, and then, okay, breathe, right? You see it even in the movies. Okay, breathe. Then you have a quick break before the next one, right? That's how it's been explained to me by a couple of different women that have had kidney stones and kids. They say that those breaks with childbirth make it so that it's not as bad as kidney stones. So take their word for it, not mine. But anyway, so that was my week. So then I didn't get home, I guess, Tuesday morning until almost 6 a.m. I was on all sorts of drugs and pills, and now my nightstand where I keep all my medicine, I hardly have room for anything but medicine. I'm not even 32 years old, and I have all these pills I have to take. But lots of them are almost done because they were like 1 week medicines. But anyway, that was the beginning of my week, which was not planned or expected or something I ever want to happen again, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I was told that because of where I live, partially the water, it's funny, the doctor said, well, a lot of people that live in this area get kidney stones because of the water. Okay. And then he said, be sure to drink plenty of water. It seemed funny to me at the time. I think I was on drugs. I don't know. Well, I know I was on drugs, but it seemed funny that he was talking about how a lot of people have kidney stones because of the water. And then maybe the next sentence or the one after that, he said, now be sure to drink plenty of water. It just seemed like a funny thing to say. But also I was told, or I guess when I was reading about kidney stones, one other cause can be excessive vitamin D, which is interesting because my neurologist for MS made sure that I'm adding vitamin D to my pills, to my supplements, if you will. And so I have been, just in the last, I guess, really year and a half, I've been taking vitamin D. So I don't know if that's the cause or what, but holy moly, if you have a kidney stone, I'm sorry. I would research them. It's a pain that you just don't ever want to experience. I promise you, if you've never experienced it, just don't. Do whatever you're doing that prevents you from having kidney stones, but I mean, spinal taps, blood patches, broken wrists, both at the same time, open, bloody, gashy wounds, things I've had, I would take any of those any day over another kidney stone. So anyway, that was my adventure of the week. I had some other things I was going to talk about today, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to give an update on what I've done this week. It made it so that I didn't go to work Tuesday. I worked from home Tuesday, but I didn't go in. Made it so that my Friday, with, of course, the weather, was a part of the reason, but I was so tired. I did go into work on Wednesday and Thursday. Fairly long day on Thursday. So then my Friday, I just stayed home, waited for it to snow. I did quite a bit of work too, but just being able to sleep in a little bit made a big difference. So anyway, so as I'm hiking along, there's so many deer tracks. It's cool. And it's exhausting. I don't know how far I've gone, but this first part of this trail, the first probably 2 to 3 miles, which I'm probably still in that, within that distance, but this first little bit, it is mostly up. And not like that steep straight up, but just gradually up, and then gradually up some more, gradually up some more. And I've noticed a lot of the deer tracks come, they get on the trail for a while, and then they go off. Well, if I'm not paying close attention, I just start following the deer tracks instead of the trail. Like right now, I don't see the next trail marker. Oh, there it is. I already started following the deer instead of the trail. But anyway, that's kind of cool to see all the deer tracks in here. And the snow is so deep that it's covering my shoes every step, which I think is cool. And I'm getting close to the top of this ridge, which I want you to see. And then, and once again, I don't know where the trail goes. I don't think it goes to the left, but maybe it does. I don't know. Oh yeah, it does. So you can kind of see behind me, pretty cool ridge. Hopefully the sun is not too bright. And I know the image quality is not as good on this one. I had to take my phone out. So, starting to warm up. It's probably, it may even be already into the 20s. Maybe still in the teens, but when you come uphill for a long time, it warms up fast. So, okay, I will keep on hiking, and if I see something cool along the way, I'll let you know. So I'm pretty sure these are all ash trees, and all the leaves are still on them, and the sun is coming through. Obviously you can see that. But like just walking through here, it is so pretty. Because it's like another layer of, like, I guess insulation, if you will, to keep it even quieter. You can still just barely hear the hum of the highway. And you can see right there is where I just came up. But it is so cool. It's like you're just kind of down in and under all the trees. But it is so neat.